right of Jacob Fry on many things. I am not a socialist. It feels so good to say. For me, it's obvious. I believe in capitalism. I believe that for the city of Minneapolis to do a better job of serving people who are in need, serving our low-income residents, serving people who need the opportunity to achieve growth, to step up, to have better education, more job opportunities, better housing. We need more business. We need more jobs. We need more success. I think that the progressive side of our city council is concerned more with the other side of the equation. And so I don't question what their motives are. I think they want to make the city a better place too. They want to do it from the bottom up. I want to do it from opportunity, jobs, development, growth. And I think you're in a better position to help the people at the bottom when you're bringing in money. When you're bringing in money. If you're not bringing in money, you're not getting anything. 651-461-9226. We do have a couple of examples of what the mayor said during his State of the City address today. And I will say we did invite the city council president, Elliot Payne, on the show. And he's been on before. He's great. He'll come in. He'll answer the question. But his team said he had meetings today and couldn't join us. Here's the mayor saying, and this is sort of the refrain, we should hone in on kind of the core city services that most people think about.
We try to do everything, things that aren't always a local government's job. And in the process, we didn't always do the most important things well enough. We spent time debating things that are not the most critical parts of our job. And if you ask people what they want from their city, the answers are usually pretty simple. They want to feel safe walking down their street. They want clean air and safe water. They want to be able to afford their home. They want businesses to succeed, and that's the job.
Seems pretty obvious to me, right? Now, the fair question is, like, you've been the mayor for what? This is the 9th state of the city. So what are we going to do for the basics? Well, part of it, I think, is key to success in the city. And I do think the mayor has some responsibility for the fact that, like, our police staffing levels have it's been kind of flat. We've been hiring, we've been recruiting, but then other people leave. The mayor said, we got to get serious about this.
We're currently sitting at 642 officers, up from around 550. And next year, we're hoping to reach our charter number of 733, with goals of exceeding that to reach more than 800 before I leave office. And we have the most diverse department we've ever had in our city's history.
We need more police. Pretty simple. Dan and Hopkins, you're at 651-461-9226. The state of Minneapolis in 2026 to Dan is
hopelessness.
The
state of hopelessness. None of us in the outer part of the outside of Minneapolis have any hope that it's going to be any better because of Marxist, communist, woke ideologies that just need to die. Ideas need to die because it's destroying our city. We have no hope that's going to change. I guess I never dreamed there'd be this many Democrats that live in Minneapolis that vote for this nonsense, this knuckleheaded ideas.
Do you think, do you feel any hope with, I mean, the mayor is saying today, and I think the mayor throughout his campaign has been, I would say he's a liberal progressive Democrat. He is not a Democratic socialist, right? Like, yeah, he's not Mondami. He's not even like Aisha Chugtai or he's to the right of Elliot Payne, the council president,
Listen to what he says. This is a problem that people can't afford housing. Well, how about force people to sell their homes for half of what they're worth? I mean, that's just the stupidest idea. It's not the people's fault that don't have high-paying jobs and a good education and are responsible with their life. We owe them housing. All the rest of us hardworking people are breaking a sweat every day to put food on our own tables. We need to pay for their life as well.
Well,
this is just a whole mentality, Jason.
I get where you're coming from, but I do think there's a different idea in saying, in the city of Minneapolis, government policy has made it difficult to build housing that is in that sort of $200,000 to $350,000 price point right now. So to me, like, that isn't saying we want to screw you by making you sell your house for less. It means we want you, we want more housing. We want more housing. 651-461-9226. Now, you're allowed, many texters upset that Dan and Hopkins called in and that he doesn't live in the city. You're allowed to have an opinion. Man, I tell you, this gets me going all the time. There is an incredible arrogance among people who live in Minneapolis that, like, no one else is allowed to have an opinion about the city. And also, how come you guys don't want to come down here? Why are you so chicken? Why are you so afraid of it? Minneapolis residents, many, want to, on the one hand, tell all of us who don't live in the city to pound sand, that you don't care about our opinion. And on the other hand, you're whining and crying that we're bitching about the city. Stop being such a pain in the ass. Oh, we got a break. It's Minneapolis residents. I love this city, and you guys hate the people out of Minneapolis so badly. So annoying, so tiresome. 651-461-9226. We'll break. More from you guys. Make me feel better. Drive time back in a bit.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
No matter where you live, whatever zip code you have, whatever area code you have, the Canopy Group wants to help you make your dollar go farther. It's Jason for my insurance agency, the Canopy Group, thecanopygroup.com. I love this company because they are dedicated to making an insurance process that can be a headache, that can take a lot of time, that can be really stressful, can be expensive. They want to make it quick, easy, smooth, seamless, the best coverage for the best price. That's the promise. And you can call them right now, 800-967-3389 and get a quote. 81% of Minnesotans have one insurance agent that represents one company. The Canopy Group has 16 different companies. That's about choice. And that's about personalization, making sure that you get an insurance product that absolutely works with your life. What are you waiting for? Get that quote. No obligation. If your insurance is better right now, they'll say, cool. But see what the Canopy Group can do for you. thecanopygroup.com.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because you had just one more 3 rounds ago. Because the 5 a.m. flight seemed like a good idea at the time. Because check engine lights always appear at the worst possible times. And because parking downtown is a nightmare. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. I have a sister I'm close to, but no kids or anything tying me down. So I never really worried about planning for the future. Recently, a friend of mine passed away unexpectedly without a will or a trust, and it created a huge mess for the family he left behind. I don't want to be a burden on my sister. I want to be prepared. So why should I choose Gutman Law?
Hi, Brian. Your instincts are correct. If you were to do nothing, the state would decide who's in charge and how to distribute your assets, which is probably not what you want. And your sister will have a lot to sort out by herself. Now, this is the reason why I chose Gutman Law. My family, Matt and Jamie, were so sensitive to the nuances of my situation after a divorce. An estate plan is more than just names and numbers on a piece of paper. It's family. Making it easy on them is what matters most. From healthcare directives to wills to living trusts, Gutman Law can help you determine what type of planning makes sense to protect you and your loved ones. 612-895-1616 or go to mnestatelaw.com. Gutman Law, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
$4 a gallon gas. Let's save some money at Luther Kia of Bloomington. Jason here from my Kia Connection. Right now, they've got more than 90 electric and hybrid Kias on the lot. I just test drove the EV6. So much fun, and I can drive to and from work for 2 weeks on a single charge. The hybrid Kia Sorento SUV gets great mileage on the highway. The Red Hot Telluride as a hybrid, too. Check them out at LutherKiaofBloomington.com, where 35W and 494 come together. Tell them Jason sent you.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I would run through a fire just to be by your side.
We've sort of landed on this issue of should people outside of Minneapolis have an opinion on what's going on in Minneapolis. You're welcome to continue weighing in on that at 651-461-9226. Texter says, Jason, how about you bitch about the outside suburbs calling city people woke? All right. I believe I started the show by encouraging people to bring a 2026 attitude about Minneapolis, not a 3-year-old complaint. I do think one of the things that makes me most sad about the state of Minnesota today is that people outside of the cities have largely made it a personality trait that they hate the cities. Now, for a long time, people in the city of Minneapolis, I think, had this sort of elitist, snotty attitude about anybody from the suburbs or from rural Minnesota. And I'm sad to say that the rest of the state, I think, now is responding in kind. And I think some of that is Tim Walz's fault, that he ran for office promising to listen to all of Minnesota. And instead, we ended up with Democrats sort of reacting to obstructionist Republican policy, that when they had all the power, they just took all the power. Some of this, I think, is Trump related, that Donald Trump has become such a part of your personality, whether you hate him or you love him. That part of that comes with an anti-city attitude. A texter here is exactly correct and says Minneapolis needs the burbs, the rest of the metro and rural, just like the burbs, metro, and rural need us. We are an ecosystem. That is so, so true. We need each other. Charlie is in Minneapolis. Charlie, how would you describe the state of Minneapolis? The state of Minneapolis right now is blank.
Well, the state of Minnesota is good, except for, Minneapolis, St. Paul area. I mean, let's face it. Not all, but most of the Fortune 500 companies are leaving.
Which Fortune 500 companies are leaving?
A lot of Fortune 500 companies.
Which one? What is leaving Minnesota?
Didn't Health Partners just recently decide their headquarters are here, but they're leaving. All their new employees are going to Texas.
I mean, 3M just spun off an $8 billion healthcare business, Solventum, which put their headquarters in Minnesota. Like, I don't know that that's a reality.
Oh, it's very real. I mean, look at the vacancy downtown.
Yeah,
Every other
that's a real
company in
issue.
Minnesota that
I'm just
must
saying there are
do
real
business
issues.
in
We don't need.
Minnesota is moving out of the city.
No.
Jason. Yes.
What are you
It's
talking?
vacant downtown.
Yes.
I work in the city every day.
No, I do too. Their vacancy downtown is a huge issue. Companies fleeing Minnesota is. I haven't seen the data to say that is a huge issue. Am I concerned about it? Yeah, I am concerned about it.
And a lot of everything else is going to.
But what do you think about
do the same
Minneapolis?
thing.
What is your, you said you're here every day working downtown. What concerns you or what gives you hope about Minneapolis?
Well, that in particular, it's the tax base. Did you know that somebody in Minnesota, for instance, my boss, he lives in an average home in Minneapolis, and he pays just as much in taxes every month as his house payment. And that is just going to start going up and up and up.
So
There's no tax base.
Do you think taxes are the issue? What do you think the taxes are?
Well, that's just one of the issue. I mean, look, Minneapolis is trying to attract bathhouses instead of businesses.
I am concerned that there's, Charlie, thank you. I am concerned that there's a lack of focus on it, trying to attract new business and attract new jobs. But, I mean, we got to deal with reality, too. There's not like massive fleeing going on. Jim in Buffalo. Jim, the state of Minneapolis right now is blank.
Delusional.
How so?
I don't know what kind of mushrooms all these guys are finding in the woods, but somebody's better change.
What do you mean?
Between Fry and 2/3 of the council, it's like they want to just take away everything in the twist. I lived in Minneapolis for 25 years.
Right. Jacob Fry
I'm
today
glad
said he
I
wants.
because right now it's gone in the toilet.
Jacob Fry said today he wants to have the charter minimum of 700 officers, and then adding, he'd like to have it over 800. What's the problem with that?
No problem with that.
So
no problem with that. Finally, he's gotten some intelligence there. But when it came down to this thing this past winter when the ICE agents were here,
yeah,
he should have had the Minneapolis police on call to help on a few things, not standing there and cutting down the ICE agents. They had a job to do.
How do you think?
Let 'em
How do
do
you
it.
how do you think they did that job?
The ICE agents, I think, could have done better, but at the same time, it didn't help citizens getting involved on it.
Yeah, I think, Jim, what you say, I think most people actually agree with. I don't think most people in Minneapolis agree with it, but I do think most people think, well, if federal agents are doing something, the local cops should help out. I will say that is a key difference between sort of city residents who are concerned about different things. Most of us think we want all of law enforcement to work together. Let me just say, when I say that I think the state of Minneapolis right now is dysfunctional, I will say that there are many, many things beyond the political structure here that give me great optimism. That seeing downtown be refocused into an entertainment district and a residential district is the correct decision. Downtown's never going to be a massive where everybody goes to work the way it used to be. The world has changed. Technology has changed. We've all changed. I think the steps being made in that direction are very good. I am concerned that the political situation in this city, though, is going to be, are we going to waste another year with the leftists on the city council fighting the mayor? It sure feels like it. And even today, Chad asked the mayor about kind of the last time he's met with some of these members, and you can hear that podcast. Just look for the Chad Hartman Show. Lots of texters. You city people, you got to call in. Don't just text me that you're mad about the out-of-city people. I get it. I get it. These people who are talking about how terrible Minneapolis sound like they've started drinking already, says somebody texter. So many uneducated idiots calling in, says another texter. I do think that this is how a lot of people in Minnesota feel. You can't just dismiss it. You maybe need to look at why people feel that way. Are they straight up wrong? Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think they're tapping into that dysfunction. They've had it. 3:31, let's break. Big news out of the Minnesota Wild that they are making a change in goal. The Gus Bus rolling in. We'll talk about that with Jess Myers in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
All right, let's talk about J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It's Jason here for my men's clothing connection. Just yesterday, I had an email from a listener who was talking about his son-in-law getting ready for a wedding and said, Jason, like, we've gone to some of the other retailers and it's never quite felt right. We went to J.H. & Sons and it was totally different. It is different. It's different service. It's different connection. It's different passion. You're going to feel taken care of the second you walk in that store at the Galleria in Edina. Plenty of parking. This is premium clothing. The best lines, the best fabrics, the best colors. You need to upgrade things for the spring, get to J.H. & Sons. Need something for date night, or maybe you're going on vacation, J.H. & Sons. They have incredible tailoring right on site. Dean is there. He'll measure you up. You'll be good to go. Go say hi to Kevin and Chuck and Bryce and everybody over at J.H. & Sons. You can sign up for their email list at jhtsons.com or just visit that store, the Galleria in Edina. That's J.H. & Sons.
Thought-provoking.
You hate cancel culture until it cancels someone you disagree with, then you're totally fine with it.
Curious.
Is angst about our Minnesota state flag still a thing? I just don't get it. Let's move on, people.
They don't just react to the news, they shape the conversation around it.
Republicans, stop sucking. Win a dang election at the statewide level.
Minnesota's radio station. News Talk 830. WCCO.
You know when your air conditioner chooses the hottest day of the year to quit? Yeah, that's exactly what a proper tune-up helps prevent. At Metro Heating and Cooling, our complete professional AC tune-up is just $109 because we do more than the bargain guys. We inspect the system, test performance, clean critical components, and catch small problems before they turn into expensive breakdowns. So before the heat really hits, protect your comfort, your wallet, and your family. Call 214-304-7658 now and schedule your 109 AC tune-up with Metro Heating and Cooling. Done right the first time, so you stay cool all summer long.
Losing a loved one is difficult enough without having to worry about paying property taxes on a home you inherited. That's really tough. If you're in a situation where you have to sell a property you inherited, you can trust my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita. The good neighbor agent just helped Scott, a fellow WCCO radio listener, get his family home sold. He was going through a lot after his loss and wanted a quick, stress-free process. John's a compassionate guy. He was patient with Scott and also assured him he could get the job done fast without adding any stress. It took him less than 2 weeks to sell Scott's house. The buyer paid $10,000 over asking price. John made a stressful situation a lot easier for Scott. John makes selling easy. Want to know what your home is worth? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons?
Yep.
Decorations?
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers?
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party started at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
Chad back here with you on CCO. I want to talk insurance and the group I have trusted for 30 years. Not just me, my father, my boys. We have been with Amber Scholl and Associates the entire time. They are with American Family, and trust is the right word. When something awful happens with your business or your home or your car, you need people who are available. You need individuals who have a team, and they've handled every situation. Amber and her team have done that. Let's be honest. Insurance rates are complicated. You need someone who knows this business in all ways And I wouldn't be with Amber for 30 years unless I totally believed in her. Call today, 651-738-4811, and tell me you heard this spot from Chad on CCO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Whole Foods Market, North 35W near Burnsville Parkway. Got a crash working off to the right shoulder. Get ready for your slowdowns. You come up from McAndrews, South 35W. That's a slow ride as move across the Minnesota River Bridge. Traveling 694, congestion in place as you make between Stillwater Boulevard and 994. 694 is jammed up both directions currently between 100 and Highway 10. Shop self-care staples at Whole Foods Market. Get 33% off body care and candle with Prime through May 12th. Stock up on your favorites or gift a new relaxation routine for mom. While supplies last, shop in store or online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by JTR Roofing. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We chill tonight, falling back to 35 as the sky clears out and the wind settles down. There's a frost advisory that includes the metro, a freeze warning outside of it. Bottom line, if you planted some flowers this past weekend, you want to cover them if you want to keep them. Clouds increase throughout the day tomorrow with a high of 53. We do finally warm back to near average on Thursday, and it looks like we could take a run at 70 this weekend.
Sun is out right now in downtown Minneapolis. It's 49 degrees here on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We have confidence in both of our goalies. They're both excellent. They both played really good hockey. We believe in either one of them can win us a game. And I think it's a good opportunity to get Gus in the net. He's hungry to get in. I think he dealt with not playing for a while. Obviously, Wally played very well. Our team won and continued to go through, but we got another excellent goalie that's hungry to get back in the net.
I was absolutely shocked. I got to be honest. Minnesota Wild making the announcement today that veteran Filip Gustavsson is going to start Game 2 for the Wild. The team surrendered 9 goals on Sunday. One of those was empty net. Let's go to Jess Myers, the Minnesota Wild reporter for the Pioneer Press, who is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. I really thought they were going to stick with the Wall of St. Paul, knowing that both teams, Jess, gave up a ton of goals in Game 1 on Sunday. It was a weird game. What's your take on this? Are you surprised?
The message from the Wild after that game was, you score 6 goals, you should win. I mean, that seems pretty simple. If you score 3, you should win, probably.
Right.
That game was just off the hook in so many ways. It seemed like anytime Colorado did anything, Minnesota had an answer for a while, and vice versa. The fact that the Wild were down 3-0 in the first, they were down 4-2 in the second, and they actually held a lead at one point. It was off the rails. But here's what I think finally maybe made the decision or tipped the scales in favor of Filip Gustavsson in Game 2. And it was this. Colorado scored 8 times on Jesper Wallstedt.
Yep. 5
of those goals were shot from roughly the same spot on the ice, that right faceoff circle, to the left of the goalie. I asked Jesper Wallstedt about that. He said, I face shots from everywhere. But you talk to the Colorado Avalanche players after that game, they said, we had studied this goalie. We had looked at tape. We had scouted him. And that was maybe something they saw as a weak spot. And for whatever reason on that night, it worked. Now, Wallstedt, to his credit, said, hey, the puck had eyes. It was one of those nights where, everything, seemed to end up in the net. But that was maybe enough to spook the Wild and say, you know what? It's a classic case of stick with it until it stops working and then make a change. And I don't think anybody could argue that it was working too well in game one.
Yeah, no doubt. I suppose the concern about flipping back to Filip Gustavsson is, I mean, he hasn't played in so long, Jess. His last
April 13th.
I mean, that is crazy. Like, obviously he's a veteran. You get prepared as much as you can, but like, that's a long stretch without playing, right?
Yeah, and to his credit, he's been a good soldier from what everybody has talked about. He hasn't pouted. He hasn't, tried to undermine anything like that. Talking to Nick Foligno today, for example, he said, hey, Gus is a pro. He's an ultimate pro. He's the one who's been sticking around after practice, knowing that he's not going to get the start, but he's got to keep guys ready. He's stayed fresh. He's said all the right things. So it sounds like he's hungry. And another thing we heard from John Hines was he wasn't just hanging his head and saying, okay, it's somebody else's job. He's been fighting. He's been competing, saying, I'm ready to go. Anytime you need me. Well, now they clearly need them because you don't want to come back to St. Paul down 2-0 in this series, especially not to a team like Colorado, which is so good in so many ways.
Jess Myers is with us from the Pioneer Press. There is no doubt that this is a different dynamic, right? This is different from the first round in the playoffs. Colorado, so good. I suppose I was left feeling a little, I don't know, to be honest, I was impressed that, like, for most of the game, the Wild kept fighting and hung in there with Colorado.
Absolutely.
To me, it didn't feel like, oh, we got to hit the panic button here. It felt like, well, I suppose if really the Wild think that they found some sort of weakness that couldn't be corrected in time for game two, that's pretty interesting, right?
Absolutely. Now, you're absolutely right, though, Jason. This Colorado team is vastly different than what they saw from Dallas in the first round. Dallas is a very good team, but they're very meticulous with offense. They pass the puck. They plan their offense out. They look for openings, all that. Colorado is more kind of the run and gun team, almost like the hockey version of fast break offense, where they see a tiny little opening and they are off to the races with odd man rushes coming at you, with cross ice passes, all of those things. There's a reason Colorado won the President's Trophy, which goes to the top team in the regular season. And this is just the crazy nature of the way the NHL structures its playoffs, is that the number 2 and number 3 teams in the Western Conference, Minnesota and Dallas, play each other in round 1. And then the number 1 and number 3 teams in the Western Conference, Colorado and Minnesota, play each other in round 2.
Yeah.
It's just insane that, 2 of the top 3 teams are going to be out before you get to the conference finals.
If you're the Colorado Avalanche, are you worried about your goalkeeper who gave up 6 goals against the Minnesota Wild on Sunday?
That was an interesting thing about game one, is you had both teams kind of saying the same thing. Win or lose, it's like, we've got to play better defense. We've got to tighten up. We've got to do some better things. And, Colorado did give up a shorthanded goal. That was kind of a neat Foligno rush to the net with Marcus scoring the goal. So, yeah, there are definitely things that need to be fixed on both sides going forward. And that was just so out of character for playoff hockey.
Yeah.
I was joking with someone that 9-6 in the first game. So, tonight is going to be like 2-0 with an empty net goal or something like that, one way or another. It's just, that's just the nature of the beast with this game.
When you look at the Wild, like how banged up are they after sort of the first round and where we're at now with game 2 looming?
They don't have a ton of injuries, but the injuries they have are very significant. Jonas Brodin, who blocked a shot in game 5 against Dallas and is out for the foreseeable future. They keep saying we're hopeful. We'll see about game 3. He is one of the top shutdown defensemen that they have, and that's a big loss. And you saw what not having shutdown defensemen does in that game 1 with all of the offense both ways. And then the other big loss they've suffered, at least temporarily, Joel Eriksson Ek, who was hurt in game 6, that this inspiring game 6, that win against Dallas gets them to the second round, all that. The bad news to come out of that, he went down in the third period. Looked like he may have twisted something or tweaked something. He left the game for a while. He came back. You could tell he was in some pain, but he gutted it out. I mean, you would have had to cut his leg off, I think, to keep him off the ice for that moment for this franchise. But he can't play right now either. They keep saying it's day to day. he is such a vital player offensively and defensively. He's, a big center. He kind of anchors their power play in the middle. So that's a huge loss too. Now, nobody's making excuses. You slot new guys in, you see what you can get. And you've seen guys like Vladimir Tarasenko or Michael McCarron step up into those forward roles and do some good things. But that would make a big difference in this series, I think, if they can get those two back.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Here we go. And Colorado has two. They've been alternating with two keepers also. So both these teams are sort of used to this sort of switching around. So we're used to this as Wild fans. We've seen this in the playoffs before. What we're not used to is round two. That's
right. So, hey, we're here. We're having fun. Anything, beyond this point is gravy. But as Nico Sturm told me, and he's been a part of two Stanley Cup runs, one in Colorado, one in Florida. He said, I don't know anybody I've ever talked to in the summer who says, it was our goal to get to the second round. So clearly they have, bigger goals in mind and 12 more wins in mind for this franchise, which, would be such a fun thing. Hey, this is a fun time of year. This is the first time ever that the Timberwolves and the Wild have both gone to the second round of the playoffs in the same season. So, hey, for all of our misery in Minnesota sports, let's have a fun spring, right?
Right. That's right. Somebody can go to round three. Why not?
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely.
Maybe both of them. All right. 7 p.m. puck drop in Colorado tonight. Jess Myers, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Jason.
And you can read Jess's story at twincities.com. It is up. He has filed the news that Filip Gustavsson getting the Game 2 net for the Minnesota Wild. Drive time back in a minute with gas prices and incentives. Are you tempted at all to get an electric vehicle? EVs. Is it intriguing to you? Or have you done it? And maybe you love it or maybe you hate it. I want to hear from you. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
So I was at lunch today talking to a friend about how much my life changed after leaving TV almost 4 years ago now. And one of the biggest factors in my life changing has been Livia. It's Jason for Livia Weight Control Centers. I reached out to Livia because my weight it didn't balloon overnight, but it had crept up and up and up. And I was starting to feel the effects of it. I knew I was too big for my frame. I was feeling aches. I was feeling pains. I wasn't sleeping the way I wanted to sleep. Livia helped me achieve a 45-pound weight loss, which is just amazing. But more than that, Livia made me feel like myself again. The scale, the number, that's just part of it. Energy, balance, clarity, confidence, all of that is part of my life today. If that's intriguing to you, Livia is going to give you everything you need to succeed. Livia has evolved into a more complete path to better health. Personal plan, medical support, expert one-on-one guidance, nutrition, GLP-1s, hormone replacement, all of that coming together to create an individualized program just for you. This is what feeling like yourself looks like. Livia.com, LIVEA.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word, everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanHassenDT.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price as 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
It's time to spring into deals for Mother's Day at Lowe's. Shop select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for $15, and get Mom the perfect addition for her garden for less. Plus, get 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Mom's garden is winning with these deals. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6, excludes Alaska and Hawaii, while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
$4 a gallon gas. Let's save some money at Luther Kia of Bloomington. Jason here from my Kia Connection. Right now, they've got more than 90 electric and hybrid Kias on the lot. I just test drove the EV6. So much fun, and I can drive to and from work for 2 weeks on a single charge. The hybrid Kia Sorento SUV gets great mileage on the highway. The red hot Telluride as a hybrid too. Check them out at LutherKiaofBloomington.com, where 35W and 494 come together. Tell them Jason sent you.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash still working for 35W northbound Burnsville Parkway off to the right side. Traffic is jammed up as you make way through the stretch. South 169, a slow ride, 494 as you head down to Old Shakopee Road. Highway 36, finding your afternoon congestion in place between 35W and Rice Street. 694 westbound is jammed up. Highway 10 to Highway 100. 694 northbound, some slowing from 94 up to 15th Street. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Right now might be the perfect time to protect your home with clog-free Leaf Guard brand gutters, custom built for lasting performance. Get Leaf Guard brand gutters through Lindus Construction, 8449 Lindus, or on the web, lindusconstruction.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Lindus Construction, one contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs, brings us Chris Schaefer's forecast. Tonight down to 35, tomorrow 53, Thursday finally getting back closer to average high, 63. We do have a frost advisory in the metro in the overnight hours. Outside the metro, freeze warning. If you have any vegetation that needs to be covered, you are the problem. So don't listen to those meteorologists who are being friendly to you about it. You have no one to blame but yourself. Where do you think you live? Right now in Minneapolis, on Twins Ticket Tuesday, it's 49 degrees. Listen for the sounder. Caller number 3 gets a 4-pack of tickets to the game next Tuesday, May 12th. Twins versus Miami at 6:40. Hit the thing, Dan.
Jason DeRusha.
You can't have people telling you 24/7 that you're great. You need people around you to say, hey, that's a bad idea.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Would a boy like you like a girl like me? Doesn't matter if we don't know where this leads. Would a boy like you like a girl?
Gas prices are high. No doubt, right? What did you guys see today? What was the highest gas price? The national average is $4.48. The current average in Minnesota is $4.16. In the Twin Cities, it's $4.20. So I would say $4.19 is pretty standard out there right now. I've been interested in EVs for a while. And if you check out on my Instagram page, there's a video of me test driving Kia EV6. Part of why I've been interested in EVs is because they're fun to drive. They're fun to drive and the potential to save money. But the Washington Post today took a look at the question, how much money? It's a good question, right? Because I think different people have different motivations when you're looking at EVs. For me, some of it is the fun. Some of it is the technology, that it's cool. I will say, like, the environmental side of this is not my number one motivation. If I were super concerned about the environmental side of things, I'd probably just keep driving my current car, right? Why buy a new car? You know, like, that doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm curious of your reactions about this. A texter said, I find EVs very intriguing. I believe they are the future, but also the battery technology is still rather primitive as far as cold weather performance and lifespan and reliance on rare earth minerals. I do think the cold weather part of it, like, I know a lot of people who got an EV and then got annoyed in the winter. I do think we think about cars sort of funny. Like, we're worried about being able to drive 300 miles when most of us drive 15 miles to work. You know, what are we really worried about? And when I test drove that car this weekend, Dan, when I got down to 29% battery, I started getting the shakes.
Getting a little twitchy? When do you usually go get gas?
When I'm running on fumes. That's how I talked myself out of being nervous about it. Didn't make any sense. Now, when you use an EV, obviously, you're also, you're paying for electric, right? Like, it's not like it's free to charge. The upfront cost is a big part of it. But the Washington Post saying, look, gas prices alone is because of that upfront higher cost. It's not going to be enough. What people are doing is buying used EVs because used EV prices are about the same as gas cars. And then you take that out of the equation. You will save money. It depends how high gas goes, for sure. Continental Diamond, take your savings and go buy a new watch. Continental Diamond is my place for luxury pre-owned watches. Time check is $358.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So. And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at MiniLeaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
When it happens there, you'll hear about it here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The World Health Organization and Spanish authorities are moving to keep a deadly virus from spreading aboard a quarantine cruise ship. CBS's Allison Keyes.
We hear you. We know that you are scared.
That's Maria Van Kerkhoff at the WHO, who says the agency has been hearing from worried passengers who were confined to their cabins to keep the deadly hantavirus from spreading. It's often transmitted from rodent droppings, but
we do believe that there may be some human-to-human transmission that's happening.
So far, one patient is in intensive care and 2 others are seriously ill. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
In Tarrant County, Texas, a former FedEx driver is sentenced for the murder of a 7-year-old girl he kidnapped while delivering her Christmas present in 2022. Tanner Horner pleaded guilty to killing Athena Strand. The judge telling him today,
"You will be caused to die in accordance with the rules and regulations established by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice until you, said Tanner Horner, are dead."
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the offensive action against Iran is done.
Epic fury as the president notified Congress. We're done with that stage of it.
Secretary Rubio, conducting the White House press briefing, says the next stage is Project Freedom, which has already included guiding ships that are stuck in the Strait of Hormuz due to Iran's blockade.
We are only responding if attacked first. This is a defensive operation.
But if attacked,
If we're fired on, we will respond, and we will respond with lethal efficiency.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House. Alleged White House Correspondents' Dinner attacker Cole Allen has been indicted today on 4 federal charges. According to court records, Allen was indicted on the 3 charges we knew about: attempt to assassinate President Trump and 2 gun charges. He has also been indicted on an additional charge of assaulting an officer or employee of the U.S. with a deadly weapon. A man has shot 5 people in Texas, killing 2 of them in Carrollton, which is north of Dallas. Carrollton Police Chief Roberto Arredondo says it happened at the K-Town Plaza in an area known as Koreatown.
The suspect was identified as Sung Han Ho, Asian male, 69, and officers have successfully taken him into custody.
The suspect knew the victims. Vice President J.D. Vance travels to the country's midsection on this primary day. CBS's Ed O'Keefe with more.
Vance is headed here to Iowa, where competitive races in at least 3 congressional districts this fall could decide control of the House of Representatives. Both parties believe this state, once again, up for grabs because of the economy.
Voters are going to the polls in Ohio and Indiana. In the Buckeye State, they're casting ballots in Senate, House, and governor's primary races. Hoosiers are weighing in on House and state races. Stocks closed up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy and 52 degrees at 4:03. Good afternoon. I'm Mark Fry. St. Paul police are expected to give an update this hour on yesterday's shooting in the city's downtown that left 2 men injured and resulted in 3 suspects getting arrested. Police responded to shots fired at 5:30 yesterday evening at the River Center parking ramp and heard gunfire from multiple areas as they arrived, leading them to secure 3 separate scenes outside Grand Casino Arena, the River Center parking ramp, and outside of the Ordway. Again, St. Paul police expected to provide an update within the next 15 minutes today. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announcing a shakeup in the leadership in the state's Department of Human Services.
The move demotes Shireen Gandhi, who was appointed as DHS's temporary commissioner last year and selected to lead the agency permanently just 10 weeks ago, and promote John Connolly as the new commissioner. The department, of course, under intense scrutiny, accused of turning a blind eye to fraud over the years. In the House Fraud Committee today, Republican Representative Isaac Schultz called out the governor.
No firings of top leadership. No one to be said that has been held accountable. Whistleblowers having been retaliated against. This is the story of the Walz years.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry pushing for a shift back to fundamentals in this year's State of the City address following Operation Metro Surge. Fry says they want to focus more on basic services such as public safety and streamline housing permits to ensure Minneapolis remains on a stable trajectory.
And if you ask people what they want from their city, the answers are usually pretty simple. They want to feel safe walking down their street. They want clean air and safe water. They want to be able to afford their home. They want businesses to succeed, and that's the job.
Council President Elliot Payne says he agrees with most of the mayor's back to basics focus on public safety and business growth, but highlighted the need for more attention on things like expanded rental assistance.
Back to basics to me means living in a house that you can afford and live with dignity. Back to basics to me means
a living wage that doesn't force you into poverty just to make ends meet.
170 Chisago County employees are striking today after the union and city filed for unfair labor practices against one another. Sides have been negotiating since last fall, with workers upset over rising healthcare premiums. This employee talking to WCCO TV.
Makes us feel very unrespected. We didn't have choice in a lot of things. We get dealt with our insurance. They're trying to raise our deductibles without bringing any pay to the table or fixing that. We ended up trying to shop our own insurance, being a consumer of our own product.
And Filip Gustavsson gets the start net tonight for the Minnesota Wild following Sunday's 9-6 loss to Colorado in Game 1 of their playoff series. He takes over for rookie Jesper Wallstedt, who has played the first 7 playoff games after Gustavsson got the majority of the games in net during the regular season. Game time tonight, 7 o'clock, and that's on ESPN. It's 4:06, traffic and weather on the way.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for South 169, 494 as you head down to Old Shakopee Road. Highway 10 westbound's jammed up past Snelling Avenue as you make your way over 235W. West 94 slows, Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. And then again, as you make your way toward Highway 101, get ready for another section of slowdowns there. 36 eastbound jammed up, Cleveland Avenue to Rice Street. USPS Ground Advantage reliable route's going to be 169 southbound as you make way between the area of Highway 7 and 494. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCL.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Vegan, the Twin Cities catering leader. You can find them at Dickeys.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
The clouds will clear out and the wind will settle down. We're in for another cool night tonight, down to 35. There is a frost advisory from 2 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning. That includes the metro, and a flat-out freeze warning outside of the metro where temperatures could fall below 32. Bottom line, cover them if you want to keep them. Tomorrow, the clouds will increase throughout the day, much like today, with a high of 53 degrees. Partly cloudy, 63 Thursday, warming up to near 70 this weekend.
52 and cloudy at News Talk 830 WCCO.
News that leads to conversations. Conversations that matter. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Well, you heard Mark Fry's lead story that St. Paul is going to provide an update on the shooting that happened right outside of a graduation. I am worried less about the safety of downtown St. Paul and more about the safety of our graduations. Last year, the University of Minnesota stopped holding graduations at the U. They said it was because it costs too much money, it takes too much effort. I think it's because of the violence. Because of the violence. Why do you think high school, college graduations have become such a hotbed for shootings and for violence? And does it change the way that you think about going to those events? 651-461-9226. Metropolitan State University had graduation ceremonies at Roy Wilkins on Monday. They ended around 4:30. So we don't know for sure, and maybe we'll get an update from St. Paul Police soon about this. They're doing this update at 4:15. I worry about graduations. Now, part of my concern with this incident is because I was home. And my wife heard the shots. So last night, our show was done at 5 o'clock. And so I was home around 5:30. And I get home. And then I was trying to be a good husband. So I take our recycling down to the lobby of our apartment building. And I'm taking the recycling downstairs. And after I bring the stuff into, I take it to the dumpster, and then I come out in the lobby and I see an Amazon delivery person just looking frantic. I'm like, "Are you okay? Is there something I can do to help you? Because she just looked exhausted and stressed. And she said there was a shooting right outside. There was a shooting. And I'm, you're in your home. You're like, there's a shooting right outside. At the same time, I get a text from my wife. And Alyssa says, "Where are you?" Sounded like shots and then screaming outside our window. Now there are a million cops out there. And the response from St. Paul police last night, this is the street in front of the Ordway, the area around the River Center, part of West 7th near Grand Casino Arena. There were people all over the park because this graduation ceremony ended at 4:30, so people were out there taking pictures, doing their thing. It was nice. I'm arriving at home, and you're like, this is great. Rice Park is full of people, and we've seen a fair amount of this in St. Paul, taking their graduation photos. You graduate from Metropolitan State in St. Paul. You did it. You did it. Just like those kids last year at Wayzata High School were going to their graduation. And a day that should be a moment of incredible celebration. Instead, you're always going to remember that at your graduation, somebody was shot. And yeah, like the schools, and man, I hate this stuff. The schools always bend themselves in knots. Well, it wasn't one of our students. It wasn't technically, or they weren't. We don't know for sure. Like, come on, give me a break. And we'll find out from the chief if this was, the odds that this was just absolutely coincidental. Maybe. But there aren't a lot of shootings happening in downtown St. Paul at 5:30 in the afternoon. That's not the norm. I believe that we have a problem that no one likes talking about, and the problem is gangs. In this city, we don't talk a lot about gang violence. And I don't know why that is. When I first moved here, we were talking about there were gangs in different communities. You had in St. Paul, the concern was Frogtown. You had Hmong gangs. And in Minneapolis, you had Latino gangs. And today, you don't hear too much about Hmong gangs. It looks like either that problem has taken care of itself or has been policed out as an issue, or it's happening under the radar and no one's talking about it. I don't know. In Minneapolis, we know there have been problems with gang activity in the Somali community. And it does seem with each ethnic group that moves to our community in the early phase before you've sort of had that second generation, seems like we have a gang problem. Now, we also have plenty of crime with people who are born here, too. Like, I'm not saying that, but it does seem that we have this gang problem that I just don't understand why we don't talk about it. Texters at 651-461-9226. Asking about graduation. Do you feel safe going to a graduation party? Or going to a high school or a college graduation? I do. But it seems like this has become a spot where scores are settled. Last year, I believe there were 3 different graduations that had incidents of violence outside. And man, it sucks. And it happens outside of the security zone. So it's not like we can, what are you supposed to do on the streets? One texter saying the issue is guns. It's just too many guns. And
we've already shown we're not going to do anything about that.
Right.
Didn't the U of M change their policy about having high school graduations based on some of the stuff that happened?
I believe that's why they changed it. They claimed that so the U stopped doing graduations at Mariucci. And last year,
high schools.
For high school.
Right.
And part of the reason that they said they stopped is that they were charging like $30,000 each, but like the time it takes and blah, blah, blah. To me, it sounded like a load of crap, that the real reason is that somebody got shot outside of Mariucci. And the reality is there is no way to ensure safety. There just isn't, because the world is open. And if you're in a gang and you want to settle a score, you know that your enemy is going to be showing up for that graduation, or at least you have a good shot, right? So even if it's not the student that's your target, maybe it's the student's brother or uncle. And so this becomes a spot where you're like, and you have the added bonus that there's so many people you can make a run for it and probably get away. It's a pretty good scenario if you're looking to shoot somebody. Just makes me very concerned. 651-461-9226. Lots of texts coming in. Are you more hesitant to attend a graduation right now? Are you worried about violence at this? The chief of police in St. Paul sharing updates right now. We'll update you as we hear it here on Drive Time.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Terrene Dermatology wants you to take care of your skin as we hit this sunny season. It's Jason for my friends at Terrene Dermatology. 11 locations, 2 more announced, growing into Western Wisconsin, growing all over the metro area, because they want to be close to you and take care of you. They don't want you to have to wait. Many CCO listeners have told me they've had to wait months to make an appointment for a dermatologist, not at Terrene. Terrene Dermatology guarantees they'll get you in within 3 weeks, and sometimes they'll get you in faster. If you have a mark or a mole that changes shape or size or color, get it checked out. Get it checked out. Don't mess around with it. Dr. Mohiba Terrene is my dermatologist. I see her in Roseville, but I've been to their office in Eagan, in Hudson. They're in Monticello. They're in Lakeville now. Terrene Dermatology has you covered wherever you need skin care. They're so good. So good. Check them out. Let me know how it goes. Terrene Dermatology is online at TAREEN, TerreneDermatology.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
When the heat hits, there's only one thing to do. Get shady. Now through May 11th, take 15% off all umbrellas at By the Yard. Because around here, it's not that hot. Turns into, okay, it's really hot real quick. Add some shade, kick back, enjoy your patio without breaking a sweat. Durable, stylish umbrellas built for real Midwest summers. But you better hurry. This deal ends May 11th. Shop our showroom today. With By the Yard, Life is better outdoors.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
Look, I'm more aligned with the old people. Okay, I am.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Although that violence, we have not seen that type of thing happen in St. Paul typically, unfortunately, especially around graduations. The greater metro area has become all too common. That needs to stop. With our venues, with our schools, with our collection points to make sure these don't happen.
That is the St. Paul Police Chief. Just within the last couple of minutes, as he's providing an update on that shooting surrounding a graduation. And our newsroom's monitoring it to get more information about, what exactly St. Paul police know. A couple of people were injured, a couple of people arrested as well. 2 men shot, 3 in custody, not life-threatening. It happened right outside where Alyssa and I live in downtown St. Paul, and she heard those gunshots last night. And I saw the people running for it. It's unnerving, but my reaction was not to be nervous, as we heard the police chief saying, about the safety of downtown St. Paul. And this also does underscore the limitations of police response. Because the police were there like 30 seconds after it happened. I mean, it was because whenever there are big events going on at the Ordway or in Rice Park or at Grand Casino or at River Center at Roy Wilkins, there usually is a St. Paul police officer sort of posted up in like a concrete median near the Landmark Center. And I like it. You're like, hey, if anything goes, you got somebody right here. And people were there real fast. But that doesn't stop someone. What are you going to do? How do you stop it? You heard the chief say this has been a problem at graduations all around the metro area. Texters at 651-461-9226. Jason, a lot of texts about gangs. Parents choose to have a child and choose not to raise them to be a functional member of society. Therefore, they should be held responsible. I hate the turn of phrase and hate the term, but lock them up. I don't know that locking up a parent is going to solve a gang problem. Texters say you can get shot in a church, at school, at Walmart, at a bar, at a graduation, driving down the road, at home in your neighborhood. We have decided any level of gun is acceptable. It is part of the trade-off of living in a free society, right? Like, we don't want metal detectors in public. It took a massive change to have metal detectors at the state capitol here in Minnesota. I think we accept that there are certain sort of soft targets, right, Dan? That like the outside of a sporting event, or I mean, frankly, to a certain degree, it's surprising you don't have more of these incidents, but it's because random gun violence is not that it's relatively rare. These often are targeted scenarios where they're after someone.
Yeah.
They're after someone. And when you have 2 people arrested, 3 people shot, that doesn't tell me. I don't know. We'll see what the update is, but I think often it ends up to be a targeted scenario, and that's why they do it at a graduation. How do you stop it?
I don't know, but it's clearly been an uptick in these type of incidents over the last few years, as you mentioned earlier, and that's where I think there is concern. Is it hardening the target? Is it creating more barriers? Is it? I don't know, but something is leading to this being a larger problem, and beyond just standard gun violence. And again, I think the attitude in this culture towards guns is absurd, and I wish we had more will to actually do something about that and not just shrug our shoulders and go, free country.
Right.
Because I think that's a poor excuse. But short of that, and we've obviously proven we're not going to do that, I don't know where you go to try and shut this thing down. I mean, like you said, you can try and harden the target a little bit more, but I'm not a big believer in deterrence. I think if somebody's gotten to the point where they think throwing shots is a reasonable response to whatever their issue is, they're not thinking logically enough to be deterred. So is that more about just making people feel safer? Look, my nephew's graduating at the U of M a week from Monday.
Yeah.
And I'm taking my parents down there. And it's not so much concern for me, but I have some concern for them. And, I'm sure it's going to go off without a hitch.
Yep.
And these incidences don't inspire a ton of confidence either.
Texter says, as a teacher, I am concerned about attending graduation, which I am required to do. Another texter says, just hold high school graduations at the respective high schools and severely limit the number of people who can attend. The problem is, like, Maple Grove High School has 550 graduates, and the auditorium there can only hold, 1,500 people max? Pretty big theater, but still, you could do it in the gym.
You could do it at the football field.
But nobody wants to do it outside because the weather.
You're risking weather.
It's, I don't know, man. It is, for me, it's about gangs. It's about a lack of will to really go at it. And part of going at it means you do have to punish people for what I think we would consider to be more relatively minor scenarios to try to keep them off the streets or try to rehabilitate them or try to figure out, I don't know.
And do we have facilities that we can do that if we go that far?
No, not now. You'd have to get serious in a different way.
Yeah.
You could go after
and where's that money coming from? And there's 1,000 different.
Now, you could go after gun laws, but I have to be honest, I don't think that is really an answer in this scenario because you're talking about gang members who are already violating gun laws. So I do think being more serious in how we prosecute gun laws and how we punish gun offenses would be helpful. But tightening gun laws, which I am in favor of tightening gun laws, but it's not the answer for this scenario to me.
Well, except in the sense that if what you want is to lock people up for a longer period of time and convicting them not only of the shooting offense but of violating tightened gun laws as well, that's a vehicle by which you can do that.
Yeah, maybe. Another texter says it doesn't really matter where you have the graduation because once the ceremony is over, we've had people waiting outside of our building to go after other students. Yeah, I mean that's
just it. Yeah.
We have a problem with young people and violence. We just do. And young men and gang violence. I don't just say young people. It's young men, often gangs. We're going to break. We're going to talk about some fun stuff. My gosh. It's been heavy this afternoon. It is Cinco de Mayo. And I've got a family-run business story that you're going to love. A local woman who has started her own churros restaurant. Churros, I think she brought some stuff in too, Dan. So we're getting fat and happy. We hope you do too on this Cinco de Mayo on Drive Time. Back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl and Chris Lindahl Real Estate. Arms wide out. You know the Lindahl bit. You know him on the billboard. And I hope you're getting to know the Big Red Check. Big Red Check. Chris Lindahl has been delivering big red checks to people all over the Twin Cities. And I have been surprised, to be honest, by the number of people who have said, you know what, the housing market is such a pain in the butt. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to be done. I want a big red check. I'm not willing to deal with picky buyers. I'm not willing to get to the finish line and have somebody back out because they didn't like this or didn't like that. I'm not willing to pour tens of thousands of dollars into my home to make it acceptable. Let's just sell it and be done. Chris Lindahl will buy it today. If you go to chrislindahl.com, before you list, call Chris. You can get a free smart seller guide at chrislindahl.com. See if it makes sense for you, because the guaranteed cash offer means no headaches, no stress, no paying agent commission. It just means money and a big red check. 763-401-SOLD. You can call that number or get that smart seller guide online. Do it today. Terms and conditions do apply to the guaranteed cash offer, but check out more at chrislindahl.com.
Next item, proposed guidelines for state-approved hot dish serving utensils.
Spatula only. A spoon compromises the structural integrity of the tater tot layer.
This is Minnesota. We scoop with whatever's clean.
That kind of thinking leads to forks.
Forks are people too.
Not at my potluck, they aren't.
Could we maybe just put it on a plate and eat?
Most of us are caught somewhere in the middle. Reasonable, craving actual action. Just trying to get through the day without turning every little thing into a fight.
I want this spoon investigated by independent counsel.
For smart conversation, for common sense, and less picking sides on things that just don't matter. It's News Talk 830 WCCO.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000 and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-798-8519. 800-798-8519. 800-798-8519.
Priority Tax Relief. Get your home to the comfort zone with MNWild heating and cooling.
With the warm days of summer almost here, you're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with MNWild heating and cooling.
MetroHeating.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver, a board-certified OBGYN and menopause specialist. My new podcast, Unpaused, is the place for bold, unfiltered conversations about what it really takes for women to thrive in the second half of life. Every week, I sit down with medical experts, cultural icons, and powerhouse women to talk about what really matters. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen to and follow Unpaused with me, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
36 westbound's jammed up Rice Street heading out 235W. 694 remains a slow ride between Lexington and 252. You're going to find things to be slow on 610 both direction between Broadway and Highway 252. North 169 slows Bren Road as you head up to Highway 55. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service. 1-800-569-9034 or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here's Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We chill tonight, falling back to 35 as the sky clears out and the wind settles down. There's a frost advisory that includes the metro, a freeze warning outside of it. Bottom line, if you planted some flowers this past weekend, you want to cover them if you want to keep them. Clouds increase throughout the day tomorrow with a high of 53. We do finally warm back to near average on Thursday, and it looks like we could take a run at 70 this weekend.
Right now, it's a little cloudy in downtown St. Paul, 49 degrees on CCO.
Steering you through what matters. Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
Dan, I'm busy. Dan wants me to talk.
I'm sorry.
But
sorry to interrupt your eating with the radio program.
I'm over here getting churros from Mami Churros and Creamery.
We need a longer bed at the end of that open.
I know, a little more time. Emily Navarrete is with us to celebrate Cinco de Mayo by talking about churros and her family business. Emily, it's so good to meet you.
So great to be here.
All right, I have this, and if you're watching on the video stream, I've got this big, beautiful, fresh churro. Tell our listeners what a churro is.
A churro is something sweet. It's delicious. It's heaven. It is something that brings culture to everywhere here in the Midwest. It is a tradition that we grew up having when we were in Mexico visiting my great-grandma from my mom and my dad's side. And it's just culture that we want to bring and tradition that we want to bring to the Midwest.
I love that you talk about the family culture, right? Because every culture has like their own sort of, I don't know, I think there's like a pastry or especially a sweet treat that sort of really brings it home. And the churro is that.
Absolutely. And the special thing about these churros is that these are made with love, but they're also made authentic in the mobile unit. A lot of people are used to selling their churros frozen and then home and then reheated. We don't do that. We actually make them from scratch in the trailer. God is great. We were able to come up with a great way to do that so people can enjoy tradition and culture all in one bite.
I'm looking at this picture from your Facebook page, and you're based in Albert Lea, right?
Albert Lea, Minnesota, but we travel all over the Midwest.
What, did you grow up in Albert Lea?
Yes.
And so what's it mean for you to have your own business, have your own churro trailer right in your own community too?
Yeah, it means the world to me, especially with my parents growing up as immigrant workers, working hot, long days in the field. And, going perseverance taught me how to work hard, taught me how to, make dreams come true.
Now, tradition is part of it, but you also, can I ask, how old are you?
I'm 40.
So you look so much younger.
Everybody says that.
Is that good? I think it's
I think it's great.
No, nobody says that to me, Emily. Nobody's like, DeRusha, you look way younger. you want to be relevant for today too, and you
Yeah.
sort of mix it up with fun flavors. and stuff, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I'm going to eat one. Can I eat this? This
Yes.
is dulce de leche.
And be
you said?
honest. Tell me what you really think.
Mm.
Tell me how you really feel.
Well, that's what it does.
Yeah.
So you guys can hear this, I'm sure. The crunch. So that's the magic of the churro. for me.
Absolutely.
You get the crunch, but you get that good layer of sugar.
Mhm.
But then inside, like
Is
there's that.
a cloud of love.
It is light and airy.
Mhm.
And is that just the dough recipe, or what makes that
Yes.
happen?
Yes, it's the dough recipe. It's the way we bake it. Like I said, I always say there's a science to what we do, from the water, the temperature, the mix, the measurements, and just the love that we put into it.
Did you know you wanted to do something with baking or with food always?
Not necessarily. I got it. I also have a mini donut business, but slowly but surely some doors were closing. And so I thought of something that would bring culture and tradition to the Midwest, something that you don't see around here. So what other best than churros?
It's sort of like a sibling to a mini donut, right? It's
Yes, yes, it definitely is.
how do you do it in the truck? You said that because I think about just making these. It's sort of a large pastry. Making a donut or making a churro seems like it would be challenging.
It really is. We get together, my entire family, we run this business together. We make the flour, we then separate it. Then we, stock the trailer with a bunch so that when we're out and about, we will never run out. We literally work so hard in that trailer so that if we have a line of 60 to 80 people, people are only waiting about 25 to 30 seconds. Within the time that they pay, they give us their order. The next thing you know, you have your churro and you're getting ready to head out and enjoy this special treat.
Now, you mentioned your family.
Yes.
And I think, on a day like Cinco de Mayo has very much become like sort of, I don't know, it's a celebration of Corona and margaritas as much as it is. But what I like about Cinco de Mayo is it is about culture.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily about like, yeah, you can find the historical underpinning, but it's more of a celebration of saying, you know what, being Mexican, being Latina or Latino is important. It's a big deal. And for you, family is a big part of that culture, and you have a lot of family working on the truck.
I do, yes. My mom and my dad, they both help me we buy stickers and we put them on the cups, and so they help me with that. My brother and my significant other and my kids and our kids, we all work the trailer together, and it's just a big family fun business that we enjoy doing together.
That's pretty fun, right?
Yes.
This year, obviously, here in Minnesota, as we talk with Emily Navarrete from Mami Churros. How's my Navarrete?
It's perfect.
Okay.
I
All
love it.
right.
I love that you can roll your R's.
I can, Senor Smith, my high school Spanish teacher, would be so proud of me. I think.
I love that.
This has been a difficult year for certainly in the Twin Cities where you had immigration surge, but there's also been a celebration of the resilience, I think, of our immigrant community.
Mhm.
How do you make sense of all of that?
I think patience is everything. Violence is obviously not the key. And I think just having patience and faith in God that everything is going to be okay. So that's how we get through it.
You guys are, there's a hustle involved here, right?
Mhm.
Because you don't have a brick and mortar restaurant.
Nope.
So how do you end up at a county fair or at a festival? Like, are you hustling for that? Are they reaching out to you? How does it work?
Most times I am hustling for that because I am hungry. And the reason why I am so hungry is to be able to give my parents the experiences that they never had growing up because they were poor. And so my ultimate dream is to always continue being successful, not just for me, not just for my business, but for them.
It's pretty cool, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see why that would be very motivating.
Oh, yeah.
So what is the summer the busiest season then? You're going to different festivals and such?
I would say yes, the summer is the busiest season, but we do work all year round. We take a lot of pride in doing winter festivals, and those are very successful for us. People absolutely love a churro on a winter cold day. We did the Lapit Foundation a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually back in January.
Yeah.
And we also served a hot horchata where you would dip your churro into your hot horchata, which many people have never had a hot horchata. And it was very well received.
That's pretty cool. Do you have to explain stuff to people? Do people have questions?
Sometimes, yes. And sometimes just saying it's delicious, you're going to love it. They believe us. And so it's amazing.
Emily Navarrete is with us, Mami Churros. Where are people going to find you next? Where are you going?
I am getting ready to post a lot of our next stops on Facebook. So right now, that is the best way to find us is on Facebook and looking at our schedule.
What's the dream?
The dream is to be able to have both my parents retire someday. So, we're looking at the kickoff to summer at the Minnesota State Fair. And maybe someday, I have the dream of being at the Minnesota State Fair, the best fair in Minnesota, in the entire United States. And so I would love to have them retired and give them, like I said, the best experiences before I don't have them anymore. And that's my ultimate dream.
I mean, the State Fair, this feels like a no-brainer for the State Fair.
Yeah.
Your calendar of events, I'm looking at it right now. And this weekend, you're going to be at the Minneapolis Food Truck Festival on Saturday.
Yes, and Hopkins.
And then the following week at the Lakeville Food Truck Fest. And then that kickoff to summer at the fair. But you're going to Des Moines also?
Yes, we do. I think it's going to be called the Des Moines Art Festival.
Yeah.
We do the Iowa Latino Festival there as well, too. So, yeah.
Do you are you always there or
Sometimes I'm not.
do you get a day off? This sounds like you're driving around all the time.
Well, the crazy part is I did have shoulder surgery back in January. And so it was very hard for me. I couldn't work for 4 months. And so May 1st was my first day back to work. And I had to be at the Civic Center in Rochester with my mini donut setup. And it was killer. We did just for kicks there. And so I'm going from doing snow cones to doing churros to doing mini donuts. And like I said, it's all for that bigger dream of, if I win, my family wins.
Emily, what's the hardest part about running your own food truck? It's basically a food truck.
The hardest part is just the physical part of it. Just it's labor. It's
and you're on your feet.
Countless hours. Yes. The other day I worked 12 hours and I kid you not, it was so hard to walk by the end of the day. I felt like I was 90 years old.
What is, as we talk with Emily Navarrete from Mami Churros, your favorite churro?
Ooh, my favorite churro is either going to be the Oreo. I couldn't bring it for you today because I didn't have enough time, but the Fruity Pebble is actually my second favorite. So what it is a fresh, crispy, beautiful churro with vanilla icing and Fruity Pebbles. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring you ice cream, but when you dip your churro into the ice cream, it is honestly the best dessert you'll ever have in your entire life. You're going to want to come back for more.
This looks unbelievable. Emily, so glad to have you in. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm cheering for you, and I hope everybody goes see you and sees you at the Food Truck Festival. It's coming up.
Perfect.
Very fun. Emily Navarrete, you can find her on Facebook. Just search Mami, M-A-M-I, Churros and Creamery. Twins baseball on the air here on CCO. You might be listening for a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets. I don't know. I would recommend that. We'll be back with more Drive Time in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I have made such a mess over here with churro stuff everywhere. It's Jason. So grateful for the Minnesota Pork Board and their support of DeRusha Eats. Now, Emily, being from Albert Lee, knows how important pork farmers are to every corner of the state of Minnesota. And when you think of the Minnesota Pork Board, and frankly, when you go to your grocery store, your butcher shop, and you get yourself a pork chop or some bacon or pork shoulder, maybe you want to make carnitas this weekend, maybe tonight, why not? Minnesota Pork is really 3,000 families, family businesses, family farmers, doing their best to take care of their animals, take care of their families, and take care of the environment, the soil, the water, everything that all of us care about. Now, what I love about Minnesota Pork is it's dang delicious. Lean, high in protein. Yes, it packs a punch in a nutritional standpoint, too. If you need some recipe inspiration, maybe you're a little bored. I don't know. I just like a simple pork chop, man. Bone in. Put it on the grill, salt and pepper, garlic, maybe. Let's go. You can find new ideas, though, at tastewhatporkcando.com. Go to that grocery store and butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota Pork for dinner tonight.
We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score.
Hi, Danny Long here for Linda's Construction. Maybe it's time to protect that home of yours with durable GAF asphalt shingles. These shingles are built for beauty, strength, and boy, do they have long-term performance. Upgrade that roof of yours with GAF asphalt shingles. These shingles are designed to really stand up to our tough Midwest weather. Now, if you want to brighten that home of yours, get Infinity from Marvin Windows, built for lasting beauty, durability, and comfort. Get on the web, lindasconstruction.com, or call them 844-9-LINDAS.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
$4 a gallon gas? Let's save some money at Luther Kia of Bloomington. Jason here from my Kia Connection. Right now, they've got more than 90 electric and hybrid Kias on the lot. I just test drove the EV6. So much fun, and I can drive to and from work for 2 weeks on a single charge. The hybrid Kia Sorento SUV gets great mileage on the highway. The Red Hot Telluride has a hybrid, too. Check them out at LutherKiaofBloomington.com, where 35W and 494 come together. Tell them Jason sent you.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. 494 eastbound is jammed up. Highway 62 as you head up toward Hardman Avenue. 494 northbound slow as move past Valley Creek, heading up toward 15th Street. Highway 36 jammed up, has been most of the afternoon between Cleveland Avenue and 35E. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Ryan in Coon Rapids won those Twins tickets. Very cool. Forecast brought to you by the Canopy Group. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 35. Tomorrow, 53. Thursday starts warming up, 63. The average high is 65. We are in a freeze warning outside the Metro Frost Advisory in the Twin Cities. Right now, it is 48 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha
is worth, I'm going to go $350 million.
Net worth is estimated to be approximately $500 million. One of the highest paid media personalities we have today.
Also deeply insecure.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
4-pack of tickets Tuesday, May 12th. The Twins are on the road for a bit, but they come home 1 week from today. And then that's the 12th. So that's where Ryan is going to that game. It's also one of my favorite promotions, Dan, Bark at the Park night.
Oh, nice.
So
they're also going to do Star Wars night next week. So
that's next week
big.
too.
Yeah.
So twins.com/bark. If you want to bring your dog, there's a certain section they let you bring your dog to Target Field. And it's so cute. It's so cute. Maybe I should go. Should I go to the game?
I can't see why you wouldn't, as much as you love dogs.
I think people think that I'm a dog hater.
Can't imagine where they get that idea.
It's offensive, really. You think about it.
You love dogs in just very limited situations where you think they belong, which is not at the coffee shop.
No, but I do think like at Target Field, perfect.
That's great in a particular
designated
section.
Yeah. Where was I the other day where somebody had their dog? And I'm like, I did can't people leave their dog at home? Like, you don't need to bring the dog everywhere. Now, a special event like Bark at the Park.
Bark at the Park, go for it. Yeah.
But like, I think I was at a restaurant. I don't know.
The patio?
The patio.
People love the patio. Bring the dog to the patio. Twins are in D.C. tonight. Taj Bradley on the hill. They take on the Nationals.
What do you think the national? What bit do they have tonight? Everybody.
Well, they'll
needs
do
a
the
bit.
president's race. That's a regular deal there.
Let's see. Is there a promotion? $5 Tuesdays. Today's Tuesday, right?
Today is Tuesday.
So they got. It's pups in the park there to
see.
Post game puppy parade.
Aw,
that's pretty good.
Like that.
So there you go.
So Twins pregame coming up top of the hour here.
How about that Timberwolves win last night? That was unbelievable.
A lot of mad Spurs fans out there.
You guys are lucky that our show is 1 hour short, so you don't have to listen to me complain about the fact that I couldn't find the game on TV last night because I don't have Peacock. And I'm drawing the line. I'm not buying damn Peacock. Round 2 playoff games should not be on some stupid streaming service.
And that you thought you were mad at the streaming people before.
Ridiculous. Thank goodness you can listen to Twins right here. And you're going to listen to the Twins. First pitch at 5:40. We're done. I'm off all week, too. Lots of charity events and nonsense I'm doing. So I'll see you next week.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University.